Hi there, friends and followers. So I completed the Motorola mic project of getting this Motorola microphone to work on an HF SSB radio, the 10 Tech series. Anyway, as in my previous 3 videos, I was finally able to get the wires soldered on this connector, or a connector like this. But I wanted to show you how that goes. So I thought that this little piece of wire, which is the type used in these connectors, could not be soldered, and it can't be. So let's go through that. And how I solved that was I just put a huge glob of solder on this pin, a big bead of solder, and I simply immersed the wire, the copper strands, in that bead of solder so that it encapsulated the wire, and basically it crimped it in a way. It's like a molten solder crimp. So let's go through how that would work. So I think this is the same wire as I had, and I think this is a scrap. So let me try and strip it off to see what it is. And sure enough, okay, check it out. This is that strange weirdo wire that you'll find in a phone cable or a mic cable, and it's not really solderable. You can try to put solder on that wire and it won't do a thing. So I'll show you what I mean. Let me get the light adjusted better here. All right, that's all the light I can get. So here's a soldering iron, and let me find some solder around here. The desk is a mess from a bunch of projects, and I had some solder around here. Of course, when you're on video and you don't get everything ready to go, it's hard to find what you need, and people are probably saying, skip this video. Anyway, this plug I bought, 5 of these for $10. They're not very good. The problem is this stuff here, it just melts. So it's not Bakelite, it's cheap plastic. It does the job if you don't heat the heck out of it, but if you heat it like crazy, it's not going to work. Okay, I found a little piece of solder. So here's some solder, and sure enough, if I try and solder this, watch what happens. It doesn't do a thing. It doesn't solder. And this had me thrown off. I thought, how am I going to attach this thing? And this thing, then I figured out it was crimped. That's how they did it. They crimped it. And I thought, well, you can't solder it. And I thought, wait a minute. If I put a bead of solder down on the plug, and a big one, and then I simply melted the bead of solder and put this thing in the middle of the solder, it would simply be there like a fossil or something. It would simply encapsulate it. So let me show you how that worked. And my soldering iron's magnetic, and it picked up some stuff. Okay, so I'm going to encapsulate this now, and just as a demo, this is that strange wire that is supposedly break-proof from flexing cords, but it also is solder-proof. So, and this plug is painful because it's round, and I don't have a vise, and it scoots around. Anyway, I just want to get one of these things here to show you how it works. So let's put solder on one of these, and I'll put in a generous amount. Whoa. I will put on a generous amount of solder if I can get it on this thing. Wow, so this is one of those videos that is not going too well. All right, so let's hold this thing somehow. So put it in here, maybe hold it like that. Just hold this thing somehow so I can put some solder on it. The whole trouble with this thing was it squirmed around so much, it was hard to work with. Okay, there, wow, that's a nice little vise. And I found the roll of solder, look at that, there it is. Okay, now we're really ready to go here. So let's put some solder on there and show you how this worked. It worked out really, really well. All right, and now it's not rolling around. This would have made it easier. So you make a big puddle on here, a big puddle like that, just a big glob, you don't care. And then you grab this wire and you simply immerse it in the puddle and you're done. and that holds it. I was really happy about this. So, try and get strands all to be somewhat happily put together, and just get this bubble, get this blob so it's molten again, and just dip this guy in here. I'm trying to get my hands a little, get in here, okay. Just get it to be molten. Dip that guy in and kind of just swash it around and unsolder and watch. Once it hardens, it's in there. So it's not really soldered per se. It's not a correct solder connection, but it's been embalmed like a mummy in a tomb, so it's not coming out, and it's a really great connection. So that's how to do it. That's how I soldered these weird wires that come with this thing with the Motorola Mic Cord, and that's how I made the plug work, just like that. So now you know my secrets, and you can do it yourself. Embalm the wire in a glob of solder, and even though the wire won't solder, it'll stay on because all the individual strands will stick. And let me show you now the other end of the wire again, how the strands look. So let's just simply take off some insulation here, and there are those strange strands that I can't solder. So just a glob of solder, and you can embalm these things in the solder ball, and you have a connection, okay? That's it. So that's how you can get the Motorola mic. As I chopped off the cord that was for the Astro, I chopped off the Motorola cord and put on this cheap ham CB cord, and it works. I kept the little retainer. They have a clip, a hanger clip that goes through here. It's like a strain relief clip, and it goes through a hole here. There's a hole, I think, right there. It went through, and they kind of bring it from the hole out to the front. I just left this ring on here just because it gives it some strength. And I thought if things got bad, I would trim the cord down and put this ring under the clamp here, but it seems to be pretty strong. So I did put some heat shrink, some cheap Chinese heat shrink on here, which I don't like, but it's what I had, and it's working. So that's my microphone again for the Motorola microphone working on the 10-Tex. So again, here's the Motorola mic, and it does work. It might have some hum in it a little bit here and there. I don't know. It acts kind of strange sometimes, but I don't know if that's RF getting in from my antenna being 10 feet from the radio on different bands, but it does work. I was surprised this thing worked at all. I was really shocked. So I've seen these running around for years in piles where people have gotten rid of their two-way radios, and they take these mics and they put them in a pile, and they take them to scrap yards and amateur radio fests. So if you're going to get one of these mics to convert, and you can watch my other videos on how to convert these, you want to get one that has screws in the back so you can take it apart and put a little circuit board in. The other ones, newer ones, are sealed and they're not screws in there, so that's how you do it. And from memory, the wires, the red wire is a mic audio, and the red wire is used to send power up and take mic audio off. And since I have a little circuit board in here, I send power up with a blue wire. There was a blue wire here that wasn't used in this mic, so I send power up through a blue wire in this cord, and then the power goes up to the little board, and it splits off and goes into where the red wire went. And then the microphone output part on this little board is a resistor in series with a capacitor, and then I put that down the red wire. And then the black wire and the white wire are put together. The white wire is it's hang-up ground, or it's radio ground for the TR relay or TR switch, and the black wire is microphone ground. So I put those two ground wires together, the white wire being signal ground, or I'm sorry, being radio ground, and the signal ground for the black wire with microphone. Put those together, and of course that leaves the green wire, and the green wire is the one that when you press this, it will ground to the white wire. So green wire, white wire off, green wire, white wire connected, and off. So that's how it works, okay? Thanks, have a great day.